show you a quick tutorial on how to connect and program your SCION board for the group. You might also need this video might have some helpful information on it for you. If you have trouble with your hall call security or your fire hat light out in the hallway, even up to emergency power for the group. So stay tuned and hopefully you find this video helpful. First thing you're going to want to check is inside of your group dispatcher cabinet. For your hall call driver, you want to make sure that you have good communication to your HCE board. It's also known as the digi board. So you have this orange cable going to the digi board, and it's going to your system switch to communicate with the dispatcher. So if you have no hall call bus failure on that HCE board, then you should be outputting your correct 30 volts DC out to your actual SCION board in order to program it. So you need to follow the prints on how to connect that from your hall call driver to your SCION board. Make sure it has the correct common connections and the connections to SHCC and SHCS, and you have your diagnostic switches on the down position as well. So that's a checkup for hardware. You will also need this cable. It's a serial cable that goes connected to your SCION board, and it goes to the back of your Dell PC. So you got your Dell PC on. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to connect iView. So open up your iView application. You're going to want to connect iView to iQ, which is the dispatcher in this case. You're going to go to View, Configuration, Tabs, System I/O. So for my software that I have installed for this iView, I go to Help. And then about iView, I have 4.2.15. So you have this button on the System I/O page that says SCION board configuration. It might not be located here. It might be located here on the right side. And this serial CAN bus status might be located on your bus tab. So you're going to want to look for it. It could either be on any of these tabs in the System I/O, but you should have a button on there that says SCION board configuration. If you don't, then you're going to want to minimize this, and you guys might have a program in the background that's actually called SCION config. So I'm going to click on SCION board configuration. How we have it set it up here is port COM1, baud rate 19,200. We're going to verify our floors. How many floors do we have in the building? Is it 98 or 48? In this case, we have only 15 floors on our simulator. So we're going to leave it at that, and we're going to connect to it. So we're connected. So here we have what we can program our inputs on our SCION board and our outputs for our SCION board. So we're gonna scroll down to an empty node address. Preferably you will only really need to do this if you went through our modifications department. That way our mod engineer has went through your prints and knows which actual node address can be confirmed with what inputs you need to be programming for your SCION board. So for this one, we're just going to go down to 330. I'm going to push that little down arrow. We're going to program So we're going to open up that manual configuration inputs. We're going to put it to ETA engine inputs. We're going to click send. So if you notice, we program it for 330. We're going to open up the SCIOM board configuration. We're going to connect to it. We're connected. We're going to program it node adders 330 for input 16. Going to submit it. Okay, so we have no errors. So now we're going to go shoot for a test now. We're going to minimize this. And we're going to go to System Configuration tab. We're going to click on Configurations below Dispatching. And as you can see right now, our dispatching engine is set to DBD. Active is DBD for destination-based dispatching. So this is a DBD setup with the kiosk. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump input 16 on that SCIOM board. So here I have a jumper. This is for 120 volts AC for the inputs. So we're going to look for input 16 on the SCIOM board. You can see that LED turn on. And we're going to see there that it's now set for ETA mode, estimated time arrival. We're going to remove the jumper, set back to DBD mode. If your emergency power inputs or outputs for the group is not working correctly as well too, that's when you'll need to actually go into it to troubleshoot. So you'll open up the SCIOM board configuration, you will connect to it, and then as you notice here, we only have that input 16 for node adders 330. And if you go to your prints on your group prints, and you can compare to what input matches the node address. So you want to see if it's blank on here, if it still shows 0, or if it actually should show a node address on there. You also need to go, because sometimes after a power outage, your programming on the system IO might get wiped out as well too. So in here we're going to look for emergency power input. So here we have it programmed for 300 for generator 1. But if we connect to the SCIOM board, it got wiped out. We don't show anything for 300 on here. So that's when you need to go in there, go to your iControl prints and compare and figure out which node address matches the input. So you just put it in there and then submit it and then test it as well. So that's a quick video on how to program and troubleshoot your SCIOM board. This video is really only to help you how to connect to it and program it. So if you need to add any discrete wiring or hall call enable inputs for security, you would need to contact MC technical support. That way you can get a modification. That way one of our mod engineers can get you out with the correct programming and the correct inputs to do that. But this video should help you to see if you have an emergency power issues, but emergency power was obviously working before. So you can see in there, see if it's still programmed. If it's not, then you can just go to your iControl print since your job was already programmed with it, and just plug in the inputs and outputs for your job. Hopefully this video helped. Stay tuned for next videos. Thank you.